Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the new moon in June, which happens June 28th. It's almost at the end of the month, almost into July. And this new moon is very potent. Why? I know you hear me talk about it, but this one's going to be happening in Gemini. Of course, remember always I'm talking about the sidereal Vedic astrology, not tropical Western. So it occurs in Gemini in the nakshatra Ardra. Now, I've been saying that the months of June and the first few weeks of July will be extremely strong. And there's so much that's about to change though, but use this time period in a good way, because this is a time when things are progressing, moving forward. We're moving away from that Mercury retrograde that happened in May, June 3rd. Mercury went direct, but it was squaring Saturn, so we couldn't really get going like we wanted things to move forward. Now I think things are moving forward. But of course, June 27th, we have Mars going into Aries. And this is really going to intensify everything that's been building. But for the first few weeks of July, this is a very valuable time to use to get things done. As I've told you before, I want to remind everyone, all the planets, except for the Sun, if you take it on July 2nd, will be in their own sign of rulership. Once again, Saturn's in Aquarius, Jupiter's in Pisces, Mars is in Aries, Venus is in Taurus, Mercury is in Gemini, and the moon on July 2nd will even be in Cancer. So all the planets are strong. But looking at this new moon, this is about something serious going on. It's going to be a hot summer, let me just tell you, because this nakshatra Ardra, its symbol is a teardrop. And I know that every year, every time of year that the sun goes into Gemini, it will go through Ardra around the same time of year in June, towards the end of June. But there's always something about a sadness when the planets go into Ardra. Something about a sadness. Now, Gemini is the sign of information and communication, so a lot is going to come out. But with this new moon falling in Ardra, there's something sad about the outcome. And maybe this has a lot to do with the violence that's been going on really around the world. There's been war, there's been shootings, it's been one catastrophe after another with the violence and the anger. It's going to get worse. I hate to tell you, but there is this power in this time, that we can use it for its highest good in our own individual lives to shift consciousness. This is important. Mars and Uranus and Rahu are going to align the last day of July, and what that can bring is a sudden unexpected catastrophe, but all at the same time, it can be an awakening. And that's what I think this new moon is starting to allude to. An awakening of awareness. We're seeing things for what they really are and what people are really all about. And it is an awakening going on planet Earth right now. And it is beautiful. We need this awakening. We've all been in the dark for too long. Now we're starting to see the glimmer of the light and what's really happening globally. But of course, to see the ugliness and the darkness is a sadness, because we all want to believe that people are good and they do good and help one another. But when we find that there is actually people in the world that want to kill and hurt others and destroy, it is sad. and those that have lost their lives over the ignorance and the violence of these actions brings up a deep sadness. So this is what Ardra is all about. Ardra's symbol is a teardrop, but it also represents the rains and the floods and the storms. Rudra, the god of the storms, rules Ardra, and Rudra is the howling storm and winds. And that's another indication that there can be some severity in weather. Yes, and right before this new moon, when Mars is in Pisces, this will be actually a few days, 3 days before this new moon, and even on the day of the new moon, Mars is Gandanta. What is Gandanta? When it's in the last degrees of water and the first degrees of a fire sign, and that's where it is, 1 degree of Aries. And boy, is Mars potent in Aries. It can deal with attacks and upsets. And coming together with Uranus means sudden attacks and violence, but it's not here yet. There's some good that can come out of these aspects right now, a healing. And that's what we have to be looking at. How can we heal these problems that have been bringing about the problems throughout this time? People will come together, and people will come together with some answers. And this is where the meeting of minds can heal. So through the sadness, it brings people together to create a remedy, a cure, some decisions that will change what has been coming down. So people are going to be looking for peace during this time. And I have to say, it may not last, but for this time period, let's use the planets for what they're useful for, and that is finding solutions. The sun and moon in the sign of Gemini, it is through the sadness that we will converse and communicate and find healings for what has been plaguing our planet, especially once we have Mercury in Gemini. We're going to have many meetings of mind that will bring people together in all parts of the world, because the vast amount of the population, people are good, and people want the good to heal the planet. And we have to have solutions, and we have to come together. It's not about being so separate and blaming each other or the leaders or whatever people are doing. It's about finding solutions and looking to the opportunities to find the solutions. And I think this is a time where some progress can be made temporarily. Because really what I see happening is this is a time of coming together. But in reality, the things that are really at the core and the essence that are causing the problems have not been attested to yet. And there's going to be a big explosive event that will clear the air. But before we get into the end of July, we have a lot of work to do, and a lot that is done right now will be extremely meaningful for years to come. So the planets are strong. Anything that you want to achieve in your life with this new moon in Gemini, you got to think about it. You got to start making plans, because this energy will allow you to move forward and get great results if you start something new around or right after this new moon, because this is an incredibly powerful time. Mercury also is going to be moving quite fast, and that means progress, getting things done. No more delays or setbacks, as we've been experiencing in so many ways, and problems with food and shipping and things like that that have been plaguing the planet for so long will come to some closure. There's going to be a major healing at this time. Will it clear out everything? No, we're dealing with the last and the dirtiest and the darkest to be cleared out for the second part of this year. But we are seeing light, and we are seeing a healing on this planet. So I want you to use this energy wisely. If I could say this, during the time of this new moon, make a wish. And I mean this. Make a wish, but knowing that it's not actually a wish, it's a knowingness that whatever you are focusing in on, you are going to manifest in your life. Remember what I always say, and this is an absolute definite fact. Whatever you focus in on in your life, you will create. You will manifest. The problem is most people are focusing in on all the bad in their life and all their victimhood, problems, blaming. They're never going to get an answer. So this is a time that you can focus in on what you want to create in your life, and focusing in on it with this planetary energy in these positions, this particularly strong new moon, you will manifest it, know it, bring it beyond a sense of belief, wishing, hoping, to knowing. And this you will create. So focus in on, visualize, focus in, feel it, know it, and you will have it. That's what this new moon can do for us all. So I want you to really take your time and be clear with yourself. What do you want? Don't be vague. Be specific, be clear, and watch how this new moon creates. Because from the end of June to the second week of July, this is a time of manifestation. Go for it. Okay, with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, or you would like to study Vedic astrology, this is the time. Go to my Galactic Center website, sign up for my free newsletter, galacticcenter.org, and remember, now is the time you can learn the most divine science in the world, and that is Vedic astrology. Study with me. Go to my university website, universityofvedicastrology.com. And remember, the new start date is July 6th. Take this opportunity and run with it, and I'll see you in class. Thank you.